Alrighty, guys, we are live. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. We are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. I want to welcome you guys all back to my true crime journey, where I take you guys along for the ride. Christine, good to see you. Boston Christian, Carla Hayes, CJK, Jill Moser. Beth, good to see you. All right, guys, how is my audio? Give me a from a 1 to a 10. What are we working with here? At 9.5. All right, good. Glad you guys can hear me. All right, this is what we kind of have going on today. We have some true crime news, some case updates, homeless RV squatters in California. That's a good one. Robert Brooks murder, some updates. 6 indicted. Emily Pike, updates. We will be doing some Delphi video analysis. I worked on that for you guys. I think I have a pretty clear video for us to spend some time on. Then also, I was shocked. A lot of you didn't know what pareidolia was, or you weren't familiar with the word, but you might have known what it was, just not that it was called pareidolia. So we'll talk about that. We may touch on ink blots. Hopefully, you guys watched my video from earlier. And then, before we get out of here, the Sleuth crew takes the psychopathy test. So this will be interesting. I have a few riddles. Some of them are good, some of them not so good. We'll tough through it. And if we have enough time, there is a website where we can actually take this test, and I think we can do it as a group collectively. Maybe even each question put it as a poll question, and then we'll look at our results. Came highly recommended from an article that I read that was pretty good this morning, so we'll check it out. Welcome in, She Warrior. Sensei, what's up? Brandon, welcome in. Hello. Sees through. Not today, not today. J Ray, good to see you. Ziggy, how's it going? Lori Clayton, shout out to Wisconsin. So we'll just wait a few more minutes. We'll let people kind of join the chat, and then we'll get started. A few more minutes. We'll let. Good to see you, Lynn. So, how many of you have heard about this story here? Massive homeless RV encampment. So basically, homeless squatters take over California luxury RV lot. And I mean, this story's still developing, so. Like, what the hell?
RV lot overrun by squatters, trash piling up, trailers burning, and safety concerns growing. But why do some say they had no choice but to move in?
Fox 11's Haley Winslow is in the City of Industry.
This is definitely one of the wilder homeless encampment stories we've covered. Behind me, an estimated $6.5 million worth of travel trailers that homeless are living in, and not even surveillance cameras, private security, even the law has been able to stop the constant crime and fires, including one while we're here.
They caught that shit live.
Fire rages out this RV door.
What are the odds of that?
This woman who calls herself Lucifer. Resident.
Oh shit, did you see that? They caught the firebug. So this woman right here, she's wearing a t-shirt. What is that? State preschool? She calls herself Lucifer. There's been a whole series of fire, and then mysteriously her little RV catches fire.
Fires, including one while we're here. Fire rages out this RV door. It was home to this woman who calls herself Lucifer. Residents say fires are a regular occurrence at this City of Industry parking lot. The property manager, neighbors, and business owners say it's become a crime-ridden homeless encampment over the past 2 years.
Homelessness keeps increasing and increasing since I've been living here. And it honestly just comes down to our politicians who are doing nothing about it.
Nissan employees use part of the lot for inventory overflow. They're fed up with the homeless stealing brand new car tires, even gas in the tank.
At night, it's kind of scary to come over here. Every morning, like, we have cops come down, or like the sheriff's department come down, and they drive through the lot to see if anyone's doing anything, and then they just leave. But I mean, they've told us that we can't really do anything because it's abandoned.
The property manager tells me the man who bought 130 of these brand new campers from Black Series just left them in the lot and hasn't paid rent in 2 years. Raymond Henderson works at a local meat market and stays here. Did you break into one to live there?
No. And see, that's the thing. The owner came back and told people they can stay here if they gave him $300. $300 a month, you can get a trailer.
The crux of what has turned into.
I have some oceanfront property for sale here in Arizona, by the way, if anybody's interested. I think we found our prime suspect when it comes to the arson fires. My money's on Lucifer there.
To a convoluted civil court battle.
What they about to do is put everybody back out on the street, and they don't care. This is.
That's not me. That's
this city gets so much money.
Bad recording.
To bring in to home these to house these people.
Oh, there's Lucifer.
They don't spend money on that. Imagine this was your family.
That was Lucifer. Let's take another look. Probably high as shit.
These to house these people.
Trying to take a look at that tattoo.
They don't spend the money on that. Imagine this was your family and how you would want them to be treated.
The property manager says it's going to cost $80,000 to clean up this trash, and it all starts tomorrow with 40-yard bins. They're hoping to have everybody out in 2 days.
Crazy. Crash override. What's up? Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, it's pretty nice here. Every big city has its shithole area, you know. Hey, what's up, Anthony France? I don't know, I guess you could call it Skid Row. So over 6 million worth of luxury RVs just abandoned. So I'm thinking somebody got the idea like, hey, we'll just act like we're the owners of this, or the owners of the lot just kind of acquired them, maybe through a breach of contract or something, and started actually renting them illegally to the homeless folks. Or somebody took it upon themselves. Mistress of Wine, Clint Bonnell. No, I'm not familiar with that. Retired Green Beret. Nope, that's a first. What's up, bootleg? Is that wild? Oh, by the way, they found over $6 million worth of stolen property from a nearby train yard. So they were hijacking trains too. Oh, man. That's crazy. Not sure. What's going on, Miranda? Looks like everybody's watching basketball. I mean, they took all the tires off. What the fuck? Something tells me that's Lucifer's handiwork. Oh, March Madness. Gotcha. Oh, shit. I forgot to do my bracket. Oh, well.
Been covering all week. A months-long legal battle over an RV storage lot is heating up, with the court order now in play to remove squatters living in the RVs.
Apparently, the LA County sheriffs have moved in to try to evict those squatters, which I'm sure is challenging. Let's go live to the City of Industry, where Fox 11's Ed Lascos has the latest for us live tonight. Ed.
Wait, did you guys hear about the body that was found in Bloomington near where Lauren Spears went missing? I was real curious. Apparently, it's near a high school. Does anybody know if any of the leading persons of interest attended that high school?
And the LA County Sheriff's Department moving in, enforcing that court order, with the captain telling me in 5 days no one will still be living here in these abandoned RVs on this lot. John will give you a look. The main gate here, you can see they've got some new chain links closing up the gate. They've got some locks on there. It's a confusing, complicated story. Even investigators admit that, because you have some of the homeless who've been living here in those abandoned RVs saying they're paying rent a couple $100 to $300 just to stay here. Listen to this, man.
Out of nowhere, everybody, the news just showed up, and then we just had to leave. And then the cops showed up one day. They didn't tell us anything. For an eviction, like, they had to put like some type of note. Maybe like if you walk around it, you don't see any type of note or any type of paper or anything saying that we had to get out by a certain time.
This situation is unique. You have multiple things going on, but our focus with the Sheriff's Homeless Outreach Services team is addressing those who are here, who have inhabited these trailers and that are on this property, who are homeless, connecting them with services to avoid the eviction that could happen 5 days from now.
And the operation goes on from Skyfox. They brought in some of the heavy equipment to deal with what's left of some of these RVs, burnt out RVs, as arson inspectors.
Damn, look at all that trash. You know, that doesn't give the homeless community a good look. Like, just once in a while, I'd like to see, oh my gosh, the homeless moved in and look what they've done with the place. They've laid cement, and they built a foundation, and they're building trees, and they planted grass and dug an irrigation and a sprinkler system. But no, it's always something crazy.
Been here saying they've been getting calls about arson fires, a firebug in that homeless encampment. They've also been dealing with tons and tons of trash, moving that out. The captain also pointing out with the sheriff's department that they've received several calls about some folks coming in here, troublemakers, dealing with criminal activity. So it's a hotbed as far as this investigation goes on as we come back out live. The sheriff's department says about 40 homeless folks
Indiana.
calling this lot the RV's home.
Bloomington, Indiana. Hey, Anthony, good to see you. Excuse me. Says, yes, Sleuth. They think it's a male. I guess you might be able to tell right from the skeletal remains. But I mean, it's right up the street from where Lauren went missing. I mean, we're talking like a short drive. And it's definitely in a location where somebody would have to know about it, somebody that was familiar with that area. And it kind of aligns with like a disorganized kind of killer, you know?
Here, about 10 of them relocated to temporary housing today. It'll continue over the next few days. But again, Sheriff's Department with that captain continuing to say 5 days from now that it's going to be uninhabited. That's the plan. They want to move everybody out. For now, we're live here,
What's
City
up,
of
Cyber?
Industry. Back to the west side we go.
First of all, I don't know why it would take 5 days, but second of all, it seems like another example of law enforcement now inheriting someone else's problem and trying to clean it up. A situation that, you know, is really, they're not really designed to deal with. I know they have their specialized homeless outreach teams, but how?
Oh, that's funny. Where'd that comment go? I think I lost it. Oh, there it is. Crash. It's like Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. I mean, it really is. Here, let me pull up some of those photos. Like, what the hell happened? Like, where are the windows? Like, what are you going to do with the windows? Yeah, all the tires are gone. Insurance scam. Yep. Unfortunately, bootleg, and that's what it boils down to. Drug use. Good one, John. Bye. Bye. Yeah, windows are overrated. That was a good one, Cyber. Here, I might have something for him.
All right, youngster, out you go. Don't come back.
Ever. Yeah, sometimes it's really bad for folks. A lot of people don't make it out alive from addiction. Michigan State 69 versus Ole Miss 65. Keeping you guys updated on your March Madness. Thanks, Boston. That was nice of you. That way you guys can stay tuned in here. Yeah, I figured. All right. So let's keep it moving. Have you guys heard of the case, the murder of Robert Brooks? He was a prison inmate who was murdered by 6 correctional officers. They were recently indicted. I don't know if you guys were keeping up on this case or not. Well, if you haven't, we are going to watch the full body cam. Well, we're going to stop it here and there. We're not going to watch all of it because it's pretty disturbing. But I do want to let you know that there is viewer discretion advised. Just an FYI. So if you're a little squeamish, yeah, some rarely do. Okay, so there is no audio to this for good reason. Sorry, I need to share this. Okay. So what you're looking at right now is Mr. Brooks. He's basically he's handcuffed. He's being held by his arms behind his back and his feet. And he's being carried, I believe, into what appears to be a medical room, maybe a part of their treatment facility, the medical area. All right, here's kind of the background on this. 6 individuals face murder charges in connection with the death of Robert Brooks, an inmate at Marcy Correctional Facility. This incident occurred in December of 2024 when Brooks, a 43-year-old who had been transferred to the facility just hours earlier, was fatally beaten by correction officers. The assault was captured on body-worn camera footage showing officers striking Brooks while he was handcuffed in the prison infirmary. He died the following day. Okay, here they are. Here's the accused. Whoops. Looks like Nicholas Anzalone, David Kingsley, Anthony Farina, Christopher Walrath, Matthew Gallagher. So 6 were charged with murder and manslaughter, 3 charged with manslaughter. It's Michael Fisher, Michael Mashaw, David Walters. So you're going to see these men basically beat a man to death, a helpless man. And they thought they were going to get away with it. So it makes you wonder how often these types of things happen. Makes you wonder. Brandon, the Bald Head Brigade. So a little bit more on the backstory. Brooks, 43-year-old, who had been transferred to the facility just hours earlier. Okay, so he's only been at the facility. I don't know, what was he giving him a hard time? Like, I thought that's what they were trained for. Like, I just don't understand how this happened. Well, I did some further digging, and Brooks was getting ready to be released in September. He was in prison. I think he was doing 12 years. We'll go into his backstory. But I'm wondering if that had something to do with this. Maybe one of these officers was a family member or a friend of his victim. And the fact that he was getting out, maybe they weren't so happy about that. But who knows? I'll keep looking into the case. But I'm going to play this video for you. And once again, viewer discretion is advised. Okay, let me go ahead and take this sum off of the screen real quick. Hide those comments. Now, one thing I've noticed is that they repeatedly punch him in the groin. They specifically target that area for whatever reason. Now, you see this officer here on the left, bottom left-hand corner? That's what he's doing. Imagine getting punched in the balls at full force with your hands behind your back. I feel like that could kill you alone. Look, oh, did you catch that? Oh, that's going to look good in court during the trial. Look at this. What's this guy's name? Who's that? Michael Fisher? Can't quite tell. But why do they keep targeting him in the privates? In the groin area? Like, that's weird to me. Look at him. He's hitting him so hard. He's checking the bones in his hands. Oh, now this guy's hitting him with a shoe in the groin. Okay, I want you to focus in on this guy right here. Whack. Boom. Like, what the Okay, who is that guy? I think that's Matthew Gallagher. Bootleg says payback. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, how else can you explain that? Ooh. Looks like my wife's going to pick up Panera. Sounds good. What's going on, Don Spain? Yeah, he's definitely smiling. They're all kind of laughing and smiling. Oh, now he's going to kick him in his groin. Watch this. Sorry, I'm trying to take the comments down. There we go. Look where his foot is at. Like, why? Why are they targeting him in that area? Why are they? There's no. He couldn't have done anything to make them that mad. He's not a cop killer. This is revenge. Now, remember, he's getting out September. He was scheduled to get out this year, September. I feel like this was a murder. Some type of revenge, maybe. My money is that one of these men is connected to one of his victims. I don't know. Maybe he made a threat like, hey, when I get out of here in September, and when I do, I'm going to come see your, I'm going to come see your family. Or all right, let's go into the backstory of Robert Brooks. So Robert Brooks was a 43-year-old man who died on December 10th, 2024, following a brutal beating by corrections officers at Marcy Correctional Facility in Oneida County, New York. He had been transferred to the facility from Mohawk Correctional Facility earlier that day, December 9th, 2024, and was assaulted within hours of his arrival. So I guess the question would be, why was he transferred? Who put in that transfer? And were these guys waiting for him? Like maybe the news went out that he was going to be released in September. These guys said, hey, I need you to set up the transfer to this facility. We're going to take him out. So I'm very curious as to who put in that order. It says here, and was assaulted within hours of his arrival. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence for first-degree assault, a conviction stemming from an incident in 2017 where he attacked a woman in Brooklyn with a hammer. So I'm wondering if this woman he attacked in Brooklyn in 2017, I wonder if she's connected to any of these correctional officers. That might explain a motive. He had served roughly 7 years of his sentence and was scheduled for conditional release in September of 2025. See that? His sentence and was scheduled for conditional release in September 2025. So somebody may have been upset about that. Sorry, I'm texting my wife. I don't want to forget. All right, let's see what you guys have to say about this. What's up, Charles? Oh, and he's back for more. He's just stomping on him. And I think the scariest thing about it all is it's like just another day for these guys. You know, nobody's going, oh my God, stop. What are you doing? You've lost your mind. They're all like, oh, another day at the office. He's just stomping on his balls. You know, I mean, they're literally crushing them. Yeah, this is New York. No other body cameras were rolling. And this one was supposed to be turned off. And if it was turned off, and all of these other body cameras were turned off, how would we ever know what happened to Mr. Brooks? How did we ever know that these guys were stomping on his genitals and smashing them with his own boot while the other guards kind of laughed about it and smiled and looked on? Crazy. Yep, just some true crime news. You know, no big deal. No biggie. Maybe it was a paid hit. That's interesting. Miranda says, I'm tired of law enforcement and corrections officers using their positions to hurt people. Yeah, and the majority of the time they're getting away with it. Right? We need oversight. We need oversight. That's all I keep hearing. Okay, so for those of you who have been keeping up with the Emily Pike case, she's the young woman from Arizona that was found dismembered. She's a 14-year-old girl, reported as a runaway. And then shortly after that, she was found. What's going on, Mustang? So I did get my hands on all the documents from her missing persons report, and there was a lot of helpful information. I found out the name of the group home. I'm not going to release that here today. The name that they've been using in media is not the correct name. So we'll talk about that after I kind of do a little bit more digging. But here's a quick article, and then I'll go ahead and read the documents for you guys. It's about 5 pages. All right. Emily Pike just wanted to go home. The 14-year-old was homesick for her friends and family on the San Carlos Apache Reservation when she walked away from a Mesa group home for girls in January. She just missed her family. It was that simple. Elizabeth Morales, the group home's operator, said. So there's a very important name, Elizabeth Morales. So with the names that were released in this article here, and then also that were mentioned in the missing persons reports, you can kind of narrow it down to exactly which group home she ran away from and who the owners are. It was unknown if Emily made it home or how close she got. On February 14th, more than 2 weeks after she was reported missing, her dismembered remains were found in a pair of heavy-duty trash bags on the forest road about 25 miles northwest of her family's home. Okay. So let me go. I'm going to go through basically all of the missing persons report for you. January 27th. And then there'll be a few pieces that I want to highlight. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. What's up, Bear Jew? Good to see you. Jody Lynn, good to see you. All right, guys. So I'm going to read the missing persons report for Emily Pike. January 27th, 2025, at approximately 2019 hours, I responded to Redacted for a missing persons call for service. Call comments indicated a juvenile AWOL approximately 30 minutes prior. I spoke with the reporting party, who was identified as Kathy Montano. With her MVD photo, Kathy is a manager for the group home at the dispatched location. Kathy indicated one of the clients, Emily Pike, left out of her bedroom window and has not returned. The window screen was pushed out from the inside. Kathy stated that Emily has ran away several times in the past. Kathy did not indicate any exigent circumstances. Emily was described as a 14-year-old native female, approximately 4 feet 10 inches, 115 pounds, with medium-length brown hair. Does not have a cell phone. Was last seen wearing a pink and gray shirt. Kathy indicated last time Emily ran away, she was located near Fitch Park. My area check was negative at Fitch Park. Kathy provided a picture of Emily that was attached to the call for service and submitted to records. I contacted Mesa Police Records and spoke with record specialist number 22199, who assisted with entering Emily into ACIC and CIC as a missing person. I contacted Sergeant Hutchison, number 15340, and updated him with the details of the case. Related date, February 19th, 2025. On February 19th, 2025, at approximately 20:02 hours, I responded to a call for service reference at agency follow-up. Call comments stated the reporting party was with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Additional call comments stated the reporting party had a Jane Doe he believed to be missing, Mesa juvenile. The missing juvenile was said to possibly be Emily Pike. Upon arrival, I contacted Agent Summers from the Bureau of Indian Affairs Homicide Unit. Agent Summers advised, redacted, a female believed to be Emily Pike. Redacted, the missing juvenile flyer distributed. The Mesa Police Department Agent Summers asked for contact information to the Mesa Police Homicide Unit as to share information and aid in the investigation led by Gila County. I immediately notified Sergeant Bailey, number 20540, of the above mentioned via cellular phone and provided him with Agent Summers' contact information. I ended the phone call and advised Agent Summers the Mesa PD Homicide Unit would be contacting him. Agent Summers stated he understood, and I cleared. This concludes my involvement. Author M. Carlin, number 14771. Related date March 12th, 2025. On January 28th, 2025, received this case for further investigation and review for missing 14-year-old female, Emily Pike, date of birth redacted. At 10:12 hours, I contacted Lisa at the redacted. She advised me that Emily was still missing and it was unknown where she could be. I asked Lisa about any medical conditions or concerns for Emily, and she stated that Emily was on medication for mental health and behavioral issues. She also provided me with the contact information for San Carlos Apache Tribe case manager Lori Good. I then contacted Lori, and she confirmed that Emily had a history of behavioral and mental health concerns. She did not know of any possible locations for Emily at that time. On January 29th, 2025, I received a voicemail from Lisa that she responded to the Rock Teen Center in Mesa, where Emily had gone in the past, and they had not seen or heard from Emily since she left the group home. At 1500 hours, I reached out to Lisa, and she said Emily was still missing, and there was no new information on her whereabouts. At 1535 hours, I sent a missing persons bulletin for Emily to law enforcement statewide and requested a hospital alert to all local hospitals via Mesa PD Communications Center. On February 11th, 2025, at 10:53 hours, I contacted Lisa for any new information regarding Emily. She told me that the group home received a voicemail on February 7th, 2025 from an unknown person stating Emily was with her mother on the San Carlos reservation according to a Facebook post. Lisa did not have Emily's mother's information. At 10:58 hours, I called Lori and requested information on Emily's mother regarding the anonymous tip. Lori advised me that she had recently been to Emily's mother's residence and questioned her about the tip. Lori said when she spoke to Emily's mother, Stephanie DeSella, Stephanie told her that Emily was not at her residence, and the Facebook post was an old post. According to Lori, Stephanie said she had not heard from Emily and appeared to be worried about her. Lori stated that she could go back to Stephanie's residence with San Carlos Apache Tribal Police to verify Emily was not there. Lori also emailed me the San Carlos Apache Police Department's report number 250128003 and the order for authorization and consent filed with San Carlos Apache Children's Court. On February 20th, 2025, at 07:22 hours, I called Lori and left a voicemail for her to call me regarding any new information regarding Emily's whereabouts. At 11:20 hours, I reached out to Lisa at the group home, who told me that the tip she originally said came in on February 7th, 2025, was actually sent to the group home February 2nd, 2025. So I guess the moral of all of this is I wonder if there's any significance to that. So somebody called in and said, hey, Emily is with her mom. She's here. She's at the San Carlos Apache Reservation. She's here with her mother. And this was an anonymous tip. Well, it appears that that was false, that she wasn't with her mother, or her mother's lying, which is not likely. But the bigger question is, who called that in? Was it somebody just making an honest mistake? Like, oh, I saw a Facebook post. So I'm just, doing my due diligence and helping out, providing you guys with that information. Or are they trying to mislead law enforcement? I always wonder about those things. But yeah, that's pretty much it for any updates with Emily Pike's case. And like I said, I'll keep you guys up to date on that. Here is a video. I've actually been working on Libby's bridge guy, Richard Allen video, and I've gotten a pretty good. This is probably the best one that I probably have to date. And I think we can work with it. So if we analyze it and take a few screenshots, I think we can spend a few minutes going through this and comparing what we find to actual photographs of Richard Allen. See how close it kind of matches up. What's going on, Sherry? That's a good question, Sensei, because there are a few around that time from February 4th that are only available to friends and family. I did check. It sounds like you did too. You're so nosy. All right, so what I want to do is go frame by frame, take some screenshots like this. Save them, and then we'll analyze them. But I want to go through and kind of pick the best ones. We'll kind of cherry pick. But I think this is pretty much debunks the whole Ron Logan thing. These images are just way too clear to even suggest that Ron Logan had anything to do with this, right? This one's pretty good. We'll save that one. Save that one as number 1. All right, that'll be number 2. Jennifer Coffin Daffer. Yeah, that's definitely not Ron Logan. It's clear as day now. And we'll take a closer look on all of these as well. I don't know. How many should we do? 10? That's probably, this will be the best one right here. Here, we'll do a couple more. And then we'll just play the video. That's number 5. All right, number 6. All right, let's do one more. You can kind of see him spit something out right there, too. All right, now let's just play the video. And what about the angle of the bridge itself? It appears that the bridge might be taller on the north side than it is than the south side. So that means that this angle, the bridge is kind of going upward. So you'd have to take that into consideration too if you were trying to figure out how tall the bridge guy was. All right, let's take a look at some of those clips that we put aside. We'll start here with number 1. What's up, Lilith? Pretty clear. It's a good one. Yeah, it does make you wonder, Sherry. Definitely doesn't look scared, does he? It's a pretty clear one right there. Yeah, that doesn't look like Ron Logan. It looks like Richard Allen. Yep, it's all in the eyes. The eyes tell you everything. Oh, this was the last one. Let's go back. I think that's probably going to be the best one right there. Anyway, if you guys want, you can come back and take a look at that. We'll keep it moving. I might post that video on members only. And then after a few days, I'll move it over to public. Make it public. All right, let's move on. So a lot of you, surprisingly, were a little bit confused about what pareidolia is. Like, I think you might know what it is, but I don't think you know what it is. And if you do, just ignore that part. Okay, so what is pareidolia? Pareidolia is a psychological phenomenon where the brain perceives a specific, often meaningful image like a face in a random or ambiguous visual pattern or sound. It's a common, normal human tendency, not a sign of mental illness, and is often explained by the brain's natural tendency to recognize faces and patterns. Yeah, just like looking at the clouds. So one of the most famous cases of pareidolia, and the one that always comes to mind, of course, you have the ink blots, but also the face on Mars. I don't know if you guys are too young to remember this. But man, I was captivated by this. You know, I was always wondering, are there aliens on Mars? Used to watch a documentary about highways on Mars, right? Well, we didn't have the best technology around this time. So the photographs weren't too clear. A lot of these little specks everywhere. So these were some of the images that came back from Mars. And I mean, that's obviously a face, right? Lumiere's Moon Man. Might have to go back to that. Yeah, it looks like it, Dark Side. Unless it's all some kind of a money-making scheme. Cyber Warrior says that looks like a face. Well, what do you think? Is it a face or no? Yeah, the best meaning as time goes on, technology improves. So this is obviously an older photo. So we did not have the best technology at the time of this photo. It has improved drastically. All right, let's look at a more modern rendition. Same location on Mars, taken with a much better piece of equipment. Now what do you see? CJK, an alien. I don't know. Some people were like, I told you that wasn't a face. But I think some of you out there are thinking, damn, that really is a face. Looks more like a face there than it did before. Cyber Warrior. I don't know. It kind of looks like Wolverine. When he goes full beard. Pretty close. He's a time traveler. Kawato. Open your mind, Quaid. Open your mind. It's a good movie. One of my favorite movies. Well, it used to be. All right. Did you guys go watch the ink blot video that I put out earlier? We're not going to go into that right now, but you guys should go participate in that. But we can look at some of these and you guys can tell me what you see. This one kind of looks like a dragon. Kind of see the nose right here. Or maybe two mice giving each other like a high five. Two weeks. 2 weeks. What the hell? Oh, that's funny. Good stuff. Classic movie. All right. For this one, I'm going dragon or two mice giving a high five. Yeah, some Rorschach. This one, I don't know. Maybe fallopian tubes? Kind of looks like a mushroom cloud. It's a galaxy. All right, so that will be number 1. Tell me what you see for number 1. This will be number 2. We'll do a couple of these. What the hell is a turkey cray? Sick alien with a frog underneath. Is that number 2? Number 1 and number 2. Turkey X-ray. Oh, you talking when they're in outer space? Forgot about that guy. What's his name? All right, this will be number 3. Just curious to see what you guys say. I'm kind of seeing a dog's face, but that's only because my dog's barking. Kind of looks like a vector image. J Ray says dragon face. Yeah, I can totally see that one. Sphinx cat. Sphinx cat. I don't see the Sphinx. Oh, okay. I see it now. Like here's the face and here's the back and here are the paws. All right. I see it. What do you see in number 3? Sensei, number 3, a cow's head. Yeah, I could see that with the black and white. And then you kind of have some nostrils right here. And like little cow ears or maybe horns. Boston. Everything's a burnt alien. J-Ray, baby cow? A calf? 2 grew from Despicable Me. Who's that? I'm not familiar. I've seen the movie, but I'm not familiar with it. Mustang, I see dead people. All right, we'll do 2 more. Okay, number 4. What do you see in number 4? See, and you have to be honest and you have to answer quickly. Like for me, the first thing I saw was a creepy old man's face right here. And I guess that's kind of how the scoring works. Like it's an intricate scoring. Like did the subject only see part of the ink blot? Was he looking at it kind of in reverse? Was he looking at the white part or was he looking at the black part to make his shapes? You know, it's pretty interesting how they score these tests. Boston says, Mustang, you would see dead people. That's what I was thinking. It's like, you would. Dark side, you must be hungry like me. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs. 4, yeah, it's an evil character in a cartoon. Evil cartoon character. Yeah, these are his hands kind of sticking up. And he's got smelly armpits. He's a new Batman villain. A white goblin wearing a black cloak. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll stop at 5. Boston, a smashed frog. Why does it got to be smashed? Poor frog. Number 4, bearded man from shoulders to just below the eyes. Oh, okay. I see that now. That's interesting. Dark side's trying to lie over here. I see 2 beautiful doves. Better be honest. Yeah, I definitely don't know Dark Side. I was reading about it earlier, though. Hey, what's up, Mark? Welcome back, buddy. Bootleg says, live turkeys standing back to back, each holding a piglet. It's funny because when you say it, then you can see it. Kidneys. 5 mirror image of a big dog, Bernese mountain dog, jumping on their owner. Yeah, I could see that with these skinny little legs. Tearing up their shins. I'm shrink. Shrink intuition. Oh, you guys haven't seen anything yet. You guys ready for the psychopathy test? If we have time, which I don't think we will, we might have to save it. There's a website we can go to and take this test. You can take it for yourself. Here, let me just share it. Maybe you guys can do that. So if we don't have time tonight, which it looks like we probably won't, let me share the link with you. At least you guys can go try it out. But not right now. Don't go there yet. Because we're going to look at some riddles, and depending on how you answer them, you can inadvertently out yourself as a psychopath. So be careful. All right, it's called the Levinson Self-Report Psychopathy Test. And I'll share it in the chat. You guys can go check it out later if you want. But for now, we got some riddles. These are pretty good. Some of them are good. Some of them kind of suck. There's a lot of them, so we'll go through a few. I have the questions and the answers. And be careful. If you try to sound too crazy, you might just go on sounding even more sane. Easy there, Prince. All right, you guys ready for this? Okay, so I have a total of 8 riddles. Some of them are better than others. You may have already seen a couple of these. One of them was familiar to me. But either way, we'll go through them. And if you know the answer already, don't spoil it for the rest of us. The devil in the center of 2 turkeys. All I see is blood splatter. Okay, here we go. Here's number 1. All right, depending on how you answer these riddles, you may or may not be a psychopath. All right, let's get going here. Number 1, an explorer and his crew were stranded in the Arctic for several months. When they were finally rescued, the explorer was reunited with his wife and told her all of his stories about how their ship crashed, and the captain had to feed the remaining crew penguins while they huddled on the ice together in order to survive. A few days later, the explorer's wife became curious and decided to try penguin for herself. Despite the explorer's experience, he agreed to eat some with her. Immediately after, he began to cry and later killed himself. Why? All right, I'll read it one more time. You guys can answer if you already have an answer. An explorer and his crew were stranded in the Arctic for several months. When they were finally rescued, the explorer was reunited with his wife and told her all of his stories about how the ship crashed, and the captain had to feed the remaining crew penguins while they huddled on the ice together in order to survive. A few days later, the explorer's wife became curious and decided to try penguin for herself. Despite the explorer's experience, he agreed to eat some with her. Immediately after, he began to cry and later killed himself. Why? Mark says because penguin. Right? Who eats penguin? Darkside says, I'm scared to answer first. Now, this one, it says I actually answered like a psychopath. I was like, oh, shit. But sometimes I feel like I just watch too many movies. Poison? Cyber says because literally he had to eat penguin. That makes sense. Who the hell eats penguin? Is that even a thing? J Ray. Because he ate a damn penguin, I'd cry too. Right? These are all seem pretty normal. It's kind of sad that. So you're not supposed to get it right. I got this one kind of right. Roe Guinness, a metaphor for human. Penguin poisoned him. Because penguin is metaphor for human. Interesting answer, mistress. Which was the same answer that I had. So you're very close. It wasn't penguin. The captain was feeding him. It was people. Too late for that, Boston. We're all cray-cray, apparently. Penguins are Antarctic, not Arctic. The captain ate the crew. Exactly. That's the right answer. It never tasted of penguin. He had ate human. Yep. That is the answer. Married a lady who ate penguin because she got curious. Yeah, that would be alarming. You're not the woman I thought you were. You're a penguin eater. I want a divorce. What's up, wise guy? He realized that the taste wasn't the penguin, so might have been the crew. Absolutely. You guys are all psychos. Bunch of psychos you are. All right, let's move on to riddle number 2. Mark says, I've ate donkey before. I know in Saudi Arabia they eat camel. Assuming it's something similar. All right, here we go. Here's number 2. Pay close attention, you crazy sons of guns. A young woman was at her mother's funeral when she ran into a man she did not know. He was incredibly handsome and kind, and the woman fell in love with him instantly. She never got his name or number. The next day, she suddenly kills her sister. Why? Some of you might already know this one. I did. But I originally got it wrong. Thankfully. At this point, I would have been 2 for 2 as a psycho. All right, I'll read that again. A young woman was at her mother's funeral when she ran into a man she did not know. He was incredibly handsome and kind, and the woman fell in love with him instantly. She never got his name or number. The next day, she suddenly kills her sister. Why? This one's short. I'll repeat it again. A young woman was at her mother's funeral when she ran into a man she did not know. He was incredibly handsome and kind, and the woman fell in love with him instantly. She never got his name or number. The next day, she suddenly kills her sister. Why? Why would she do that? Sees Through says she wanted to see him again. What the? It was her sister's husband. She never got the name or number. Nope. She never got the name or the number. The next day, she suddenly kills her sister. Why? Why would she do such a thing? J-Ray says because she wanted him to go to the funeral and couldn't find the guest list. She wanted him to attend the funeral again. Darkside Sister Son. Because it was her sister. Jerry, what's up? Funeral director. Boston says, I think I'm lagging behind. You might be. Picking up dudes at a funeral. Classy. Right? You heard of wedding crashers? It's funeral crashers. All right, you guys ready for the answer? You crazy bastards. So that she could see the man again, right? She didn't know his name. She fell in love with him, but she never got his name or his number. So the next day, she killed her sister so that he would come to the funeral and she could talk with him and get his name. Right? And all of you psychos out there that got that right, kudos. You're diabolically clever. You're sadistically clever. Right? Obviously, right? Duh. How else is she going to get his name and his number? The only logical answer, kill your sister, and then when he comes to the funeral, boom, right? Problem solved. So anybody that said that the girl fell in love and she wanted to see the man again, that's why she killed her sister. You were correct. Not only are you correct, you scare me. Very scary. Very. All right, number 3, pay close attention. Your apartment building is right next to another apartment building, so that when you look out your window, you can see into the windows of the other apartment building. One night, as you are eating dinner, you look out your window to see a man murdering one of the residents of the other building. The murderer looks at you, and you can clearly see his face. Suddenly, he begins moving his pointer finger up and down at you. What does this mean? Even I don't know the answer to this one. Let me read it again. Your apartment building is right next to another apartment building, so that when you look out your window, you can see into the windows of the other apartment building. One night, as you're eating dinner, you look out your window and you see a man murdering one of the residents of the other building. The murderer looks at you, and you can clearly see his face. Suddenly, he begins moving his pointer finger up and down at you. What does this mean? Cyber Warrior says, you saw nothing. Kind of like, Don't you say anything. That's what you think it means? So he's waving his fingers up and down. The murderer looks at you, and you can clearly see his face. Suddenly, he begins moving his pointer finger up and down at you. What does this mean? All right. I'm not going to look at the answer yet. Starts waving his finger up and down. I have no freaking clue. He's counting the rows of columns of your building's window to figure out where you live. Ooh, that's fucking creepy. Counting that I'm on the 3rd floor, 4th floor. He's pinpointing your location. Darkside says it's a threat. Mustang, you're next. It means I'm moving out. I see you. I think it has something to do with him clearly seeing his face. Right? Okay, your apartment building is right next to another apartment building, so that when you look out your window, you can see into the windows of the other apartment building. One night, as you are eating dinner, you look out your window to see a man murdering one of the residents of the other building. The murderer looks at you, and you can clearly see his face. Suddenly, he begins moving his pointer finger up and down at you. What does it mean? It means he loves me. He's a cop. Sobriety test. Follow my finger. Oh. It means get your camera flash ready for a visit from Raymond Burr. This kind of reminds me of Mr. Brooks. Maybe it's the thumbprint killer. Hey, Jari. Close your blinds. Stumped on this one. Isn't that a Hitchcock movie? Probably. Keep your mouth shut or you're next. Wise guy says it means he is Babu from Seinfeld. Baba Booey. All right, here comes the answer. And I don't know the answer to this one. Oh shit, you guys are right. The murderer was counting floors and windows to determine where the man lived. Ooh, some of you guys might be psychopaths. Watching you, J-Ray. Okay, so that was number 3. Maybe we'll do 2 more. And then I got to get out of here. I'm pretty sure you're 3 for 3, sees through. I'm pretty sure you're 3 for 3. J Ray. I don't think that's empathy, but it's okay. I got one of them right too. The goal is not to get these right. But if you do, you may be a psychopath. All right, number 4. A murderer breaks into a man's house one night with only a knife. But he didn't know that the man he aimed to kill was in the kitchen instead of the bedroom. When the man saw him, he got scared and ran into the living room closet, grabbing a knife of his own, but failing to get a phone. He looks the murderer out and prepares to face him. How does the murderer end up killing the man? I didn't like this one. We might skip this one. Here, we'll just go to number 5. Because the answer is kind of weird on that one. All right, last one. There is a very close couple with only one teenage son, forming a tight-knit and almost strange sort of family. Every day, the couple walks their son to school. Unfortunately, other kids see this action as silly and start bullying him for it, causing the son to come home in hysterics every night. Slowly, the couple begins killing individual children from the school at random. Why are they doing this? Here, so let me read this again. There is a very close couple with only one teenage son, forming a tight-knit and almost strange sort of family. Every day, the couple walks their son to school. Unfortunately, other kids see this action as silly and start bullying him over it, causing the son to come home in hysterics every night. Slowly, the couple begins killing individual children from the school at random. Why are they doing this? If you guys want the answer to the other one, it is he makes stepping noises to make it seem like he's leaving. Then he gets behind the door and kills the man when he comes out to call the police. So I thought that was weird. All right. So back to number 5. There is a very close couple with only one teenage son, forming a tight-knit and almost strange sort of family. Every day, the couple walks their son to school. Unfortunately, other kids see this action as silly and start bullying him for it, causing the son to come home in hysterics every night. Slowly, the couple begins killing individual children from the school at random. Why are they doing this? They're nuts. Jody's on with the Penguins. Yeah, it says the couple. Slowly, the couple begins killing individual children from the school at random. Why are they doing this? Lynn says, so less people see them walking the son to school. That sounds pretty crazy. Cyber Warrior, they're crazy overprotective. Okay, one more time. There's a very close couple. I don't know what that means. There is a very close couple with only one teenage son, forming a tight-knit and almost strange sort of family. Every day, the couple walks their son to school. Unfortunately, other kids see this action as silly and start bullying him for it, causing the son to come home in hysterics every night. Slowly, the couple begins killing individual children from the school at random. Why are they doing this? Sees through says revenge for bullying. Lynn, no more bullying. So you and Sees through are on the same page. And I don't know the answer to this one. I would have to say for payback. Revenge. J Ray. Dark Side's with me on Payback. J Ray, just flat out criminals. What's up, DC? They are not sure which kids are responsible. Son won't tell them. So I'm going to get them all. Introducing themselves. Ooh, okay. Now you're thinking like a psycho. They planned to kill their son. Yeah, they would have been witnesses. Less people. I remember you. You did the interview for Delphi. I did a couple of interviews for Delphi. The couple are Odinists. All right, guys, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? Because I got to go. I got to go. I think I like sees through's answer. I think she might be right. They plan to kill their son. That would make sense because if everybody's watching them and all these kids keep seeing them, maybe for whatever reason they might be considered witnesses. Lynn says yes. All right, let me read the answer. Okay, here's the answer. The parents don't know who the son's bullies are. So it can't be to stop the bullying. A psychopath would likely think in sort of utilitarian terms, seeking to remedy the situation in an unsettling and unusual way. The couple began killing children because, with the murderer on the loose, other parents would likely start walking their kids to school rather than letting them go alone, thus making the family's behavior completely normal and taking away any reason the bullies have to use against them. Kind of weird. So if there's a killer on the loose, the kids are no longer walking alone. They're walking with their parents. Therefore, they will not proceed bullying their child anymore. Jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, my mind didn't even go there. So none of us got that right. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for today's live stream. Thank you for joining me. It's been interesting. Sure, I'll see you guys again early tomorrow morning. So keep a lookout for the notification. And I guess I'll see you when I see you. Peace.